But Advent, there's something we could never have prepared for.
Alright, thanks, dude. I'll talk to you later.
Between the propaganda, the handouts, and a seemingly...
Alright, bear with me, ladies and gentlemen.
Nothing but trouble.
A little different. Normally I have Raven's computer here to pull up chat, so now I gotta pull it up on my phone. So if I don't respond to you immediately, just know it's because I don't have it directly in front of me, but I will be occasionally checking chat. So hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to XCOM as we work on trying to liberate our world from the Xenos menace. And as you can see, the historical figures we have recruited are they're feeling it. They're feeling it. Yeah, 8 of our boys are hurt, and several more are actually tired. So, what does our supply situation look like? It's been a week. Oh, we're doing dandy on supply. So let's grab some recruits. Let's see, who should we get? We got room for a Chinese guy. Guan Yu would be quite welcome. Let's see. Who else should we get? Do we have a Mexican guy? Because there was a request for me last time to make Montezuma. We do not. Let's go ahead and grab him. No, not you. My mistake. Recruit you from Montezuma. And they really are throwing a lot of Germans at us. Chris and Jay. Oh, a lot of a couple Norwegians too. See. I don't like that. I don't think we've gotten a Brazilian yet. We already lost Billy Bishop, our cool Canadian guy, so I'm still kind of heartbroken about that. Part of me wants to just grab Ivan the Terrible, but might not be the best idea. Let's see. Steven Schmidt, or Stefan Schmidt, what a name. I didn't even forget to hit that like one. Hey, you go, had good. Glad you remembered. Alright. Yeah, we'll have to come back to some of that in a little bit. Maybe I'll come up with another idea a little bit later on, but right now, we've got some more raw recruits. Let's see, so last we left off, we really reduced the Avatar project because it was getting dangerously close.
You figured out a new trick, eh? I'm not sure it will do you any good. It's certainly not going to scare me off.
Yeah. Anyway, oh yeah, that's right. We're about to get plate armor, so I need to get those alien alloys. And hopefully we need to get somebody to Major so we can actually finish the final, mission to unlock the chosen bases. Because, yeah, those are going to be a bit of a trip. Alright, new Grenadier, that's good. Let me check and see what we need currently. Alright, arranged by class. So we've got 3 available Grenadiers. We have no available Rangers. We have 1 Reaper out of commission, but I can't just recruit one of those that easily. We have no Sharpshooters available. We have 2 Specialists available. Okay, so we need Rangers and Sharpshooters. I'm recruiting a Ranger. Longchen, you'll be Guan Yu, so making you a Ranger. That just makes sense to me. Empowers that capacity and contacts our capacity, yes. I am aware. Alright. Back to it.
Strategic resource located.
68 alien allies, yeah, that's great. Great number there. Did we ever manage to get that bonus for the United States? Yes, we did. And we're all right on intel right now. yeah, that mission. Yeah, we're not ready for that one. In the meantime, is there anything else? Might as well go ahead and go for that
Avenger
intel.
plotting new course.
We are going to have to get the robots at some point, but having a plate armor would help before we go off and do that nonsense.
Another important step forward in our research.
Tempest Gauntlets, heck yes, heck yes, heck yes, heck yes, heck yes. Alright, this is inspired, but this is instant.
Central Officer
Do it.
Bradford has personally substantiated claims that the massive frontline unit they call the Muton was actually at one time even larger than the specimen
Yes,
I have
well,
before me
welcome
today.
back. What tales?
As it is, the creature is
Yeah,
abnormally
first get
warm to
some.
the touch for a corpse.
Yes.
But I must say, it is quite disconcerting.
Oh, from the fog. You're back from the fog with a tale to tell. Ooh.
The aliens make a strong
What
statement
tales
by
ail
fielding
you?
these massive creatures as their frontline combat units. I doubt they thought anyone would resist when faced with the alternative of staring down a Muton.
Purifier. What research should be done next? Facility lead, Spectre, autopsy. Illyrium, but we don't got the Illyrium crystals for that. Let's see, Shield Bearer.
Physically, the Advent shield bearers are quite similar to the bulk of Advent's forces, and that they are the
Yeah,
product
but
of
I was thinking that too.
careful
Like
genetic
when you say the
engineering
fog, you talking about like the
generally
Entities
mirrors the
realm
human form.
from
Most of their unique
Dead by
weapons
Daylight?
have difference
Because
in
if you
equipment
knew how to
and
figure out how to escape that,
components, I'm
I think
sure
there's several other survivors that would actually like to know. All right.
The aliens have considerable resources at their disposal.
Yeah, I'm aware
But
they got good
we still
resources.
managed
They
to
took
do
over the dang
reasonably
planet.
well.
They have to have resources.
We are victorious, and the cause is advanced.
All right.
If you would have them,
We got a new skirmisher.
one of the first of my kind to be freed would join your crew to serve at the front line of
Lieutenant
our war.
Diana Calliope. And got a soldier that's promoted. That's nice. Now we just assign a new covert action. No major, so that's a bummer. Ooh, we can get some rewards for hacking. So do we have a sergeant specialist ready to go to get that boost? We have a lieutenant. Alright. Send Miguel out there.
We'll get the job done. Don't worry.
Sacagaway is going to be one of my best hackers by the end of this, I guarantee it. Alright. Let's get you promoted. Now, you were human at one point, so what should we call you? And... let's see... Wrath, yes. Ooh, yeah, we want lightning reflexes. That's always a good thing to have. We'll hold off on getting anything else for right this red hot second. This shot steal 4 damage. That's amazing. And give you an autoloader. Alright. What tales can you tell me? From Australia. Fortunately, though, we're probably going to have to keep that helmet on because I'll only show you what they look like with it off. Oh, do they still apply? The same races still apply? That's interesting. Yeah. Kind of a butterface thing going on there. But, Calliope. Death Kneel. Actually, no. I know a Calliope we can have in there. It won't be a historical figure per se, but I think some of you will get the reference considering this channel. And, you know, let's go back. Give her armor that bronze finish.
I never got around to asking you, Doctor, but what exactly did you do before the invasion?
At one time, I was employed as a biochemist in the pharmaceutical industry, mainly researching vaccine production techniques. Because of my background, I was rounded up by Advent and put to work in one of the very first gene therapy clinics. I saw firsthand what their technology is capable of.
Okay, so we got another
For
ranger.
better or worse.
And I'd say we're lucky to have
That's
you
good.
with us.
I appreciate the sentiment.
Commander?
What up? Alright, we're building stuff now. Actually, first. Heck yes. Now, there is a problem with getting this armor, because now that the armor has changed for everybody, the game instinctively wants to just force the worst DLC onto me, and I can't say no. I've toggled it, tried to toggle it, the slider down as far as it will go, but it does not matter. It will now want to put all of them in like this ridiculous like punk armor now, and I'll probably have to go back and like manually change it. It's going to be irritating. But hey, such is life.
See if any of the troops have been keeping count on alien kills. Might be a useful recruiting tool.
Hey, keeping track of alien kills. Do you not live on this ship? We've been keeping track. Ooh, for honor reference spotted. You are correct. Hey there, Shark. Sorry if I don't know. Again, sorry. Don't have everything right in front of me. All right, go ahead and get me.
We'll get started right away, Commander.
I want that plasma study stat. Alright. Actually, let me check before we do anything else. See how we're going. Okay, we only have 7 wounded. How many are still tired? Dude's still wounded, dang. Alright. Okay, so if any serious thing does happen, we'll actually have be able to throw together a decent squad. Alright, proceed with scanning for intel.
Our research was a success, Commander. These shield bearers are not all that dissimilar from their various Advent peers. Their armor is perhaps the most distinctive feature differentiating them. Referred to by our troops in the field.
Let's get these
simply
things
as
researched.
effective. It has so far been difficult to ascertain by what means this being is able to shift forms from a solid to gaseous state at will. I had theorized it could be a cloud of nanomachines.
Well, that's like what Assassinate H. Quentin would be funny.
Those theories have proven no new direction.
Here's the thing, though. I want to live. I would like to live. You are correct. It would be funny, but I'm not going to do that because I want to live. I want to live. Also, she wouldn't be the assassin. She would hire out the assassin. All right. Now, let's see what else is in desperate need. I believe sharpshooter. Okay, so we got 4 grenadiers ready to go. We have 3 rangers ready to go. And no sharpshooters ready to go. Yeah, okay, so training a sharpshooter next. There are no rookies available. The heck there aren't? Let's see. We'll get another Russian. Actually, you know what? I'll actually change him to be Finnish. We're gonna get Simo Heiha in here. Hey, Lark, I made Isanat Shinobi, a shark yokai that would drag sailors into the depths. In her case, she lives on the coast in the mire and protects the village from invaders. Oh,
Your
Lord, I like
Templar
it.
friends are
Okay,
no
Calliope,
more
he
than
holds still.
countless
Calliope,
other
why?
species
Wait,
found
do you want a
themselves
tungsten slug in the
down
back?
this
No?
power.
Okay, then hold still. Spray paints. Don't shoot! Oh, there. On they are. Couldn't let Daniel finish his training. Honestly, I'm surprised we got by as much as we did. All intel costs increased by 100%. That's no bueno. When chosen form... When any game's extra portion goes to the hunter as well. Not good. Okay, so none of these are good, but they're immune to environmental hazards. We could get another specialist out of it, which wouldn't be bad. We get intel, not bad. And supplies. I think I'm gonna have to do this one just because I don't want, like, having intel costs be doubled is kind of a bitch. And so let's go destroy that alien relay.
Setting course for Sector 10.
Maybe
Eastern
we can finally
United
get somebody
States.
promoted to major.
Commander, I'm getting faint traces of a signal coming through. Someone on the ground is trying to reach
Ooh,
us.
yeah, see, this is what I mean. Look what they did to Chesty
Keep your
Polar.
eyes peeled for
Look
possible
what they did to Shaka Zulu. Look what they did to Hattori Hanzo. They just decided, you know what would be great is if they were wearing literally the dumbest armor imaginable. Because, look, this looks stupid. And I did not ask for them to be in this. They just decided one day, you know what? We're getting new powered armor. Instead of giving you the cool new plate armor, we're just going to give you crap. So, now I have to go in and fix everything. And I think the problem is because it's labeled, it's not Torso 1 and 2, it's labeled as Torso 0 and 1. And Torso 1, and if they, but because of that, so it's like, oh, automatically shift everything to 1. And so it's absolutely, it's just disgusting. Now, arms please, thank you. There, respectable again. Autoloader, please. And a stock. Now let's edit Hattori. Because goodness, those look awful. Hey Lark, what was the who has the best sci-fi armor? Depend, like, in terms of, like, actual practicability? Probably, like, Iron Man, if you want to go that far. Like, his armor's pretty dang sweet. But in terms of, like, which ones I think look the coolest, Space Marine armor, for, like, the Mark 10 stuff, looks amazing to me. I also, in particular, really like, Mjolnir armor from Halo. That's like, that just screams cool sci-fi soldier. So yeah, I think those are the two big standouts in just in terms of like aesthetic. But good question. All right, now you look respectable again. Shaka Zulu, let's get you wearing something more respectable. Okay, maybe you for right now. And you, a Norwegian. We never gave you something to go off of. Alright, hey Michael, I'm doing alright. Fallen Armor. The Fallen Armor does look cool. I wouldn't call it like the coolest I've ever seen, just because like it kind of looks bulky and like stuck in the 50s aesthetic for the most part, but it's still cool though. Honestly, like if we're talking about like cool, like, I think the coolest armor from Fallout is the Ranger armor, like the Ranger Dusters, incredible. Oh yeah, Clone Wars armor is great, but I just think like the Mjolnir armor kind of holds a special place in my heart. I was watching a video on Naruto, and I think countries like China would only accept world peace out of pragmatism and self-interest rather than genuine belief. So what about this video on Naruto made you think countries like China would only accept world peace out of pragmatism / self-interest rather than genuine belief? And honestly, I think you could argue that for like most nations. The idea is like, hey, we would only want world peace if the idea that we could benefit from the peace. Because if we're not benefiting from the peace, would you really want to agree to it? But anyway, let's see. Who should our Norwegian be? See. Yeah, I think I'm going to go Harold. Harold Fafnir. We're getting rid of them cornrows. Harold Fairhair. What can I get that's close to a...
I think we should move forward.
Yeah.
On our way.
I don't think this is 100% accurate, but since it's called Viking, you know, I think we kind of got to go for it. And come on, Viking, let's give this man a beer. There we go. Alright. Now, one of the big boons about having plate mail armor is they have secondary slots open. Which makes building items a little bit more worthwhile. EMP nade, nah. Flashbang. It's good for one of them to be mind shielded, so we're gonna give that to you. You're not getting mind controlled on my watch, pal. Oh, he's tired. Gosh dang it. And now I gotta edit you too, because I don't know why, it's like 75% of the soldiers that get plate armor, they automatically go, you know what, let's get them in the most retarded imaginable armor possible. I don't know why, it doesn't look good. And this is why I hate like the Children of Anarchy mod, because with the exception of maybe like 1 or 2 cosmetics, I think all of them look incredibly goofy. And it kind of ruins, because the thing is, like, here's the thing. This is XCOM. You're playing, like, elite soldiers of a professional military force. That's the idea, at the very least. So having them run around in assless chaps and, you know, a leather biker vest with a punk rock hairdo does not strike me as professional soldier. Which, hey, you know, what do I know? Alright. We got a full squad kitted out. We got Chesty Polar ready to go. Outstanding. Oh, let's see what else we can get you. Shadowkeeper's not worth running now. It needs to be upgraded, and I don't think it'll give me the way to upgrade it. So, well, bummer. All right, boys, get out there.
Sky Ranger deploy.
Squad green to deploy.
Sigurd said, my ancestor William kicked Harold's butt at the Battle of Hastings. Are you sure Harold was at the Battle of Hastings? Or was it the Battle of Stamford Bridge? There's still costumes from some wrestlers, I swear, you're right. I'd probably say the basic Helldiver armor looks and functions well. Also, it's not as expensive as Spartan armor. ODST and Marine armor also looks as viable options.
The hidden alien
Yeah, that is true. Stuff like the Spartan armor from Halo is like stupid expensive.
Loss of that data
As
will
is
stop their
Marine
latest
armor.
project in its tracks. So we're moving in to destroy the relay
What's
before
this?
they complete
Harley
the
and
transfer.
Lark.
We're
What are your
expecting
thoughts
a
on
strong
Chimera
contingent
Squad?
of security forces.
I'm
Neutralize them
not a
and secure
fan.
the site. Destroy that relay at all costs.
Because now hold on, Hastings was against the Normans, William the Conqueror versus what's his name, Harold? Because when I say Harold Fairhair, that's referring to a Norwegian king, not to an Anglo-Saxon one. Again, there were two Harolds. Yeah, that's a good point. I need to throw in Billy the Conch in there too. Aren't you a fan? Well, there's several reasons,
Menace 1-5.
but
The communications
I'll focus on the
relay
big
is
ones.
up ahead.
For one,
Destroy the target.
Commander, I'm getting faint
We
traces
retake-
of a signal coming through.
after
Someone on the
XCOM
ground
2,
is trying to reach us.
so spoilers, what happens? After XCOM 2, what happens is basically you reveal, like, you stop the Avatar program completely. You reveal to the world what Advent's been doing and how they've been trying to keep it. So they basically start this global uprising. The logical next step for XCOM 3 would be you're actually leading the resistance to not just like expose everything and stop the Avatar project, but now to actually go and retake everything. That would be the logical next step. Or maybe even going and fighting the ethereals on their own home field. Maybe like because they even said, like, why don't we go take one of these ships and colonize one of their planets? You could potentially have that where we go on the offensive and do that. But no, instead, it's like, hey, 5 years later, all the aliens in Advent have kissed and made up with humanity. There's no grudges or whatever. Now we're all getting along and singing Kumbaya. And, maybe I could look past that. But then it's like, oh, hey, this is all taking place in just one city. You go from running a global a global defense force that jumps all across the world fighting aliens for the survival of humanity to basically being cops in one city. It's kind of like, boo. Such a downgrade, in my opinion. Hey there, Sam. Suffer not the alien to live, exactly. Yep, Harold the Usurper. Alright, so. Let's see, who should be going up first? Let's get you up there just so we can start getting a better
useful
idea of
aid.
what's going on. I need to change out your voice, though.
To that position.
Alright. Ooh, yeah, we need to get her. We can get some extra supplies out of this.
Good.
Godfrey?
Of course.
Since we could forgive the aliens, but it would take a really long time. You could make the argument, hey, the aliens were kind of just as much of it because they were like previous species that the aliens had conquered and all that. But it kind of, like, particularly for like the sectoids and mutons, it made it very clear that they were like genetically created to be subservient. And that the only reason we got skirmishers is because they were merged with human DNA, and so there was enough resistance in there Because they were created by taking a human and then modifying with alien DNA, so there was enough of a free will in there that they could actually resist.
Going in. Can they see us?
Apparently not. I should have put him over there. Alright, Chesty, get over here.
Come on.
Why do you fight Advent and Advent and the Elders and humans are working together? Who do you fight if Advent? Well, that's just the thing. Advent wouldn't be working together, and in Chimera Squad, Advent's no longer a thing. But if you're asking, in the sequel, who would you fight if Advent's no longer a thing, you would just be fighting the aliens directly rather than, their puppet government. That's how I say that would go.
Fox, advancing.
As you command.
Okay, they're moving forward. All right. Get over there and see what they got.
Covering distance.
All right, sweet. 35 supplies.
It is safe with me.
I like these guys are just chilling, so engrossed in their conversation they don't see me coming up. Alright. Oof. So who can we peg? Take out the Stun Lancer, take out the Flamer, or damage you. Let's get everybody in position first before we start getting ready to pop people's heads.
Of course.
I think we should move.
I think so too. That's why I told you to move. Yeah, literally, we're just gonna be standing right next to these civilians, and they're just like, act natural, just act natural.
Wonderful.
All right. Would you be so kind as to... Let's take out that purifier first.
Oh, lovely.
There you go. Good shot. The fact that human DNA stuff is used to justify interspecies pairing is surprisingly a better explanation. The mess that is Halo and how the hell that stuff works. Bungie writers are wild. Yeah. Admittedly, that is interesting. Alright. Finish the job, buddy.
This is taking too long.
One of him's going ahead and take him out just so we can get 1 point of focus. Make him deadly. Alright. Go ahead and weaken that guy up. Yes, I know.
I miss the quiet. Silence is a luxury, don't you know?
And he's stunned. Glorious. Civies, why are you still here? %61% chance. How about this? That's a 76% chance. Still a 61. See if you can't pull him over. Ah, you missed.
I will not fail you again.
I should hope so. Let's go ahead and see if we can't knock you out of the game. Now let's see what knowledge is in your head.
On the ground, now!
Nice! Alright. Ooh, this could be rough. Alright, see if you can get an intel cache. Yeah! Oh, we could have gone all the way. You rolled well! Who would have thought the Viking would have been a good hacker? Lark, I got into a history debate with a guy who said that the whole horde of the Mongols was at the Battle of Angela, and the Mongols would have won, although he was saying that they were superior to the knights. Depends on how, depends on which era of knights, and depends on what you're looking for in kind of like the beauty of the Mongols was they had good armor. Not gonna lie about that. They had very decent armor, but their real benefit was mobility. The Mongol, their big claim to fame is like, because keep in mind, typically a knight and any other like cavalry unit is going to have one horse to them directly for combat, maybe two. The Mongolians, being steppe people, you could have like 4 or 5 horses to a man, so they could outride someone, have their horse get tired, just jump off that horse to let it rest while they move, and jump on another one and keep going. And so one of their favorite tactics was they would go in, harass a unit, get them to chase them and chase them and chase them and chase them, and once the other unit's all worn out, they would go back, swarm, surround, and destroy. That's what made them so crazy to deal with.
Not up.
You'll get him next time, Chesty. Anyway, see if you can have better luck. I'm glad I put stocks on things, because when you put stocks on your guns, they hit without hitting. Go and wipe him out, please. Oh, wow, you're still kicking.
Yes.
I need you moving up anyway. Let's see if you can be a pistol marksman today. Nope.
Congratulations!
Yes, congratulations.
Wonderful.
You disappointed me. Alright. Just go ahead and finish the job, please. Thank you, Hanzo. Alright, first squad is wiped.
I take a new approach.
Get on high. Although this guy would not accept the fact that they got defeated by the Mamluks, my guy was a huge crybaby. Because unlike the Knights, Viking, Samurai, the Mongols had an empire. Clearly he's never heard of the Japanese Empire. Depends on the hacking there, but I see what you did. I see what you did there. Alright, move up.
I move.
See what you can see. Apparently she can't see shit. Why is there no visibility? What? That's wild. Alright. Gotta be careful how much we move up.
I'm on my way.
Oh wait, sweet, we can go and start shooting it.
ID on the alien relay.
Just destroy it. Okay, not yet. We're getting there, though. Getting good cover.
They're all mine.
Oh, shoot. Wait, so me shooting through the window didn't attract their attention. You guys are so interesting. Alright. Alright, well, I'm gonna read chat while it's taking its time. I remember a little bit the Mongols outside they invaded Japan twice, and the Storm said no. Yes, the kamikaze. The Mongols have a very interesting history. Actually, Raven was doing a lot of research into that when Hatun came out, and he was fascinated by what he found. And so he actually would know more about that than I would. I know the bare bones basics, but the Mongols were very impressive, but eventually they did start to rack up some losses. Like, for a time period, couldn't touch them, but then the Mamluks did beat them. The Poles and the Hungarians beat them later on. Of course, that was like not the A team anymore. The varsity team had long since passed. But yeah, I mean, hey, I think the Mongols of the Yuan dynasty got kicked out by the Ming, so, you know, technically got that, so what are you gonna do? Let's see, where would be the best to move? Let's move over here.
I go.
Oh, for Pete's sake! No visibility whatsoever. You know, I think she would have been able to see them. But oh, rather, I get the Viper corpse and I need that for the medicine. This is about to get ugly. Do not die, I just made him. How much smog is here? Haha, get fricked.
I'm taking fire!
That was more of taking a stab, but what are you gonna do? Hey, Lark, what are some of Sun Tzu's military accomplishments? Because I hear... Don't try and set me on fire, you bitch. Oh, let me guess. Your psionic bomb? Let me guess. Oh my gosh, he did psionic bomb. I never would have guessed he would have done psionic bomb. Gosh, I hate psionic bombs. Did you get the Viper armor? No, we haven't even found the first... Like, we haven't even unlocked the ability to do that. But I need Viper corpses to be able to research the battlefield medicine.
Toxins within!
Yeah, clearly. Please don't... Okay, that's manageable. We can manage that. We can manage that. That's not so bad. Okay, so we got some stuff to do, but let me finish reading this. What are some of Sun Tzu's military accomplishments? Because when I hear about Sun Tzu, a lot of people talk about how he made the art of war, but never talk about his military accomplishments. Okay, so he was a general for the ancient Chinese state of Wu, and basically he kept Wu alive from all the countless invaders that would have wanted to do them dirt. He was able to make sure that you're not going to be able to do that. Now, I just realized he just jumped into the psionic range. So let's see, what's the best course of action here? But yeah, Sun Tzu was a capable general in his own right, and a lot of the things you'll notice when you read the Sun Tzu, a lot of it is like very basic. Not that it's like dumb advice, but it's very rudimentary because he was one of the first people to actually say like, okay, let's actually go through and discuss what generals should know and understand. Go ahead and get you. Actually, no. I want you gone first. Oh, wait, no, that was a stupid move on my part. I could have just blew that up, but whatever.
Victory is ours.
First. Seriously? That's only 46% chance to hit? That's wild. Alright, well, then just shoot him. Did you miss him? He's lit. Oh, is it the poor visibility? Oh, that's the poor visibility. Anyway, shoot him proper this time. That's better. Need to give you tracer rounds.
I must have ammunition.
Let's get you up on high where you can see stuff. Actually, no, there's poor visibility up there, so no point. Invert. How much you suffer from your own psionic bomb, you bitch? Nice!
Only a matter of
Who says he can't shoot? Sucker. Alright. He's out of the way. Move over there.
you, Meg.
Let's See how they like their own medicine. We can deal with that in a moment. He's not going to be able to use Sonic Bomb for a bit, so just go ahead and destroy that, please.
Menace 1-5, we've confirmed destruction of the relay. The alien transmission is down. Eliminate any remaining hostiles and move to evac.
Alright, not bad. Rough. I may not be Raven or Lark, but the Gamma was a variant's choice weapon for Shinobi.
Trying to decide
no
what to
mono.
have for dinner.
I would have said his toolkit for being based around multiple Shinobi tools would have been better. Thank you, Lark. Who was the main invader since you had to fight? Basically the other, like, early Chinese civilization states around there, yeah. I can't remember the names off the top of it. Was Catherine the Great? You're talking about the Second Revolution? The same revolution that overthrew the Tsar, the First Revolution, which reduced the Tsar's power and led to the establishment of parliament in Russia. Yes, the Duma took control, the provisional government. Are you poisoning yourselves?
I am wounded.
Clearly. I need to rescue her. I can't afford to, like, I don't want to lose another one of them, those skirmishers, just yet. Actually, there may be a way.
Learning its use is a rite of passage.
Alright, drop her. That's better. Heal her up for me, would you, buddy? Yeah, no. It was Nicholas II who was the last Tsar of Russia. Though technically, you could argue like his brother or something, because there was like he tried to get his brother later on the throne, so his son could later be Tsar. But by that point in World War I, the Russian people were done with the Tsar. It wasn't a good time to be in Russia. Go ahead and kill him, please. Or her, rather. Nice.
The light has left them. We will
See if you can get out of that poison mess.
utilizing hook.
Ah, dang it, she got poisoned anyway. Free reload?
Initializing weapon.
Kill him! Alright.
We deny our creators.
Nice try.
He's a
Status
smart.
confirmed. All hostiles are
That might have been one of the smoother ops we've done.
Status confirmed.
What do you say, who would you say is the best strategist in history? Oh, that's a rough one. And one of the things we got to consider is you said strategist, not tactician, so strategist.
We must never allow these dissidents to fill our hearts with fear. Their victory today is a minor footnote in history.
I think Moltke the Elder would definitely be up there.
On the path of salvation the elders have set
He was
forth
it was
for us.
definitely pretty good. Napoleon wasn't bad, but like he was a better I would argue he was a better tactician than he was a strategist. And he was pretty good at that too. What's the difference? Excellent question. That is a brilliant question to ask. What is the difference between tactics and strategy? Tactics win you battles. This is called a strategy game, but really this should be called a tactics game at the end of the day, because I'm trying to win a battle each and every time. Strategy is the bigger picture. See, tactics win you battles, strategy wins you wars. A good look at this is look at the American Civil War. The two big generals from both sides, Robert E. Lee and Ulysses S. Grant. Yes, I know there's other generals that were very important. I know that, but like those are the two that everyone thinks of. Robert E. Lee was a better tactician than Ulysses S. Grant. Several times Lee actually beat Grant and several other Union generals because he was a better tactician. But Grant was the better strategist because they're like, yes, I can lose a battle here or there, but I can do more with the victories I do achieve, and I can even make his wins hurt him in the end. So basically it's like, what are you focused on? Are you focused on winning the battle, or are you focused on winning the war? Oh, did you make a bond? The Viking and the Marine are getting along. Of course they are. Two-man wrecking crew. I don't know how you're aiming it like that, how you're going to fire it like that.
Think the elders will like this one?
They don't like any of my work, personally. Rather the Rustros X, I will die on the hill, he is the gorilla. I mean, he did have to do that. You Confederates. Like, listen, you don't have to like the Confederates, but it is acknowledged that Robert E. Lee was a tactically a good general. And that's not to say the Union didn't have any good tactically good generals, looking at you, General Meade, but a lot of times, like, Robert E. Lee was able to run circles around a lot of the Union, his Union opponents because he was a better tactician. But the problem is, a lot of his tactics wound up getting himself a pretty high casualty count. Ulysses S. Grant knew this, so he's like, I can afford the casualties, he can't, so I'm going to use those resources to my own advantage, which made him the better strategist, because you got to keep in mind, in 19th century warfare, a lot of times everyone was trying to, like, I want to go and win such a big battle, the other side just gives in. However, both sides had won big battles, but neither side was throwing in the towel. So Grant realized, hey, I've got to go in there, like, I've got to use all my resources to basically crush the enemy. Time to use every resource at my disposal.
Hello, Commander.
Alright. Dana Calvi, fear of poison. Honestly, don't blame her. Let's save after that, because we did pretty good there. Eat signature, resistance contacts. Ooh. Ooh, how close are we in the... Yeah. We'll finish that, and then we're going to get those resistance contacts, because that's important. Is it comparable to Japan versus USA, or is that not even a contest? A little bit of a harder comparison. Oh, give him Fuse. Fuse is great. The issue there being, Japan often they would have some tactical victories over the United States, but often there'd be a lot of American tactical victories over Japan, because, like, Guadalcanal is a great example of where, like, the Japanese actually were able to beat back the U.S. naval forces, and so the Marines were stranded on Guadalcanal pretty much for themselves for a bit, and they actually managed to overcome. And I would argue because they had better tactics. But it can vary. But, like, overall, American strategy, I think, was definitely better than the Japanese. Of course, that goes into logistics, too, because strategy always works better when you have the better logistics. But yeah, the big, also, the Japanese poor strategy plan was, getting America involved in the conflict in the first place.
Choose a target, pick up their trail, and then, when the time is right, I strike without warning. Think of it as mercy.
Oh, baby, we got 25 Illyrium crystals, and I think we're going to get some more power out of it. We did not get more power out of
Sanctuary for those who would stand in open defiance of the Elders. They will suffer in the endless fields of the void.
Our friends in the Resistance are paying a heavy price with the Chosen running loose. We should do what we can to take them down before they hit again.
Alright, that gives us a bit more. And I know you want me to build a Shadow Chamber, but an Infirmary is going to be more important. Because with the rate my guys are getting wounded, I need to be able to do that. But since I got all about to get this
Strategic
nice,
resource
juicy intel,
located.
let's see if we can purchase ourselves.
Avenger plotting new course.
Like, who was the first person who you said for best strategist? I never heard of him. Moltke the Elder. He was a Prussian, then later German army commander. He was the guy that was in charge of, like, when Otto von Bismarck was in charge of Prussia, Moltke the Elder was the guy who was in charge of Prussia's military. He's the guy who beat the Austrians stupid quickly. He also is the guy who was largely responsible for making sure the Prussians beat the French in the Franco-Prussian War. Basically, Otto von Bismarck is the political tool that got the German Empire made. Moltke is the military tool that got it made. And Moltke's big thing is, like, he was very big on precision of using railroads and, like, making sure he got troops. Because if you look on paper of Prussia versus the Second French Empire in the Franco-Prussian War, on paper, Napoleon III's forces probably should have won. But Moltke the Elder was able to outmaneuver him by using railroads to get more men to the front quicker, even though technically his army wasn't as large. Alright, let's see what you got for me. You do not have an engineer, and that bums me out. I really wish you did. But you have an XP superior expanded magazine. No. Not worth it, Shane. Oh, what's going on? Oof! Look at that, Elder. How's that feel? Not so good.
Some of our people are a little worse for wear after that last covert action, but if we give them time to rest, they'll be fine.
Alright, still no major, which is kind of a bummer, but hey, you know. We could use some supplies. Oh yeah, and I don't need to send my best and brightest on this. So, let's send you. We'll send Shaka Zulu to get better hacking. And no, I'm sorry, I can't waste an engineer.
I'll order my people to get underway immediately.
Oh, there's your sniper. Montezuma's gonna be a sniper. How about that? Alright. I've been putting it off long enough.
Avenger
Let's get our
plotting
killer
new
robots.
course.
We have made a number of new discoveries, Commander.
Get a refraction field. So instantly enter concealment, however they can only be used in combat once. That's a single use item. Increases the damage of all magnetic weapons by
I
one.
will send
Yes,
word
please.
as soon as we have something of note.
That is useful. Didn't Bismarck not want France and Russia to ally? Yes, that was his big goal. Once the German Empire was made, he wanted to make sure that France and Russia never allied with each other because he knew fighting a two-front war against them would be horrific. Because Germany had a very impressive military, arguably the best army in the world. But he knew the resource situation Germany had, and he knew that if those two fought against them, that's an uphill battle at best, if not just a destructive situation. And sure enough, World War I, what happened? You have to remember that the entire political system of France at the time was utterly corrupt. The army didn't really function as a special army like Britain during Crimea. Generals would buy their positions. The reason I say speedrun Scion is because you can get characters that count as max level with 0 risk to dying that way. The Shadow Chamber costs 5 power, while the Infirmity costs 3. Putting the building with 1 more power option, power coil, is easily the better option. I did what I did. Main reason they attacked France. Well, yeah, they wanted, like, that was the Schlieffen strategy. They wanted to knock France out of the war.
With something better next time.
Haha, get frick. But their hope was they could rapidly go through, knock out France, then turn around and take out Russia. However, they neglected to remember that going through neutral countries is frowned upon, and Britain is allied with Belgium.
That tower's been rotting away for years, if not decades. We're still picking up power readings, but no signs of life. Still, we know that transmission came from this location. I'm betting
Lincoln would not wear that. How dare you assume he would wear
We're
that?
sending in a squad.
Oh, we can get...
I'd like permission to go over.
Oh, he might be able to get promoted.
Send
That's
that
good.
message. They know as much about my father's systems as I do, and I want to find out why. I'm the only one who knows what to look for. I should be there.
Shen, I know this is personal for you, but you don't have to go out there. Our troops are more than capable of investigating.
There's no point in bringing
on
that. There's no one
going,
that's going to be able to
I know how to handle
benefit
this.
from that.
Let's not waste any more time than we have to.
You heard the lady. Lock and load.
No. I don't feel like change. Okay, we've got one ranger, two specialists, and probably the best specialist in the game, because Shin's just that great now. Anyway, fix that. I'll be ashamed of yourself for giving a president that look. Okay, so let's see if we can get a grenadier in here. And who's your partner? Sacagawea. Move. Let's get Sacagawea back out here. Where is Sacagawea? We just had her. There we are. Having two medics on this is going to be helpful. Seriously, why does all of them have to have this stupid freaking outfit? It looks so dumb. Thankfully, when they get the powered armor, there's nothing they can do to make them look stupid. The power armor just looks sweet. Do not get you. Alright. So we got a grenadier, we got all that going for us. Well, Daniel Morgan still researching. It's been a while since I've had you out. But no, I should probably be getting a sniper. Let's see if you can do better. And again! Just, hey, would you like your characters to look as dumb as they possibly can? Gosh, if I took a drink for every time they decided to put my characters in something stupid, I would have died of alcohol poisoning years ago. Alright, how we doing? Actually, considering what we're going to be going with, I know one thing I need to build. We'll give it to you. One grenade per soldier. You kid? Alright, fine. Because we're fighting robots, boys. Alright. Mel. Okay. How we doing? We're about to go get killer robots, but first we have to fight killer robots. Also, unfortunately for Germany, France was also one of the best militaries in Europe at the time. Even in World War II, France was one of the strongest militaries, but it fell due to incompetence. Yeah, because that's the thing. They had a very good professional force ready to go, but the problem is they got surrounded and their supplies cut off. Because if you look at, like, the Wehrabus won't like me for this one, but the early war French tanks were better than early war German tanks. May sound like heresy, I know, but it dims the brakes. But when you punch all of your... But the thing is, the doctrine of the Germans having actual tank units instead of just like tanks dispersed out through the infantry was really good, and then piercing through the Ardennes force was crucial, but let's give the credit where credit is due. They stole that idea from the British. If you know about the funnies, you know about the funnies. Hail Britannia. Britannia rules the waves. What Lark doesn't know is that Raven is also logged into the game, switching them back into silly costume. He might do that to irritate me, but the thing is, I think Raven hates the look just as much as I do. Raven, you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Access point we could find. Power's still active in this area of the facility, so you should be able to gain entry.
I'm surprised we haven't seen Charlemagne yet. Yeah, because here's the problem with that. Do I make Charlemagne German or French? Because yes, he is king of the Franks, but Francia is kind of the precursor to Germany and to France, and arguably to a bit of Italy too. So it's kind of like, what do I make him? Honestly, I'm kind of leaning a little bit more German. But you know, what are you going to do?
Right.
So this isn't your first playthrough? No, this is not my first playthrough.
At least I think they are.
And the thing is, I know that the Shadow Chamber thing could have probably been better on that thing, but I want an infirmary more because I think that an infirmary really boosts your survivability. Being able to like have your healing times means I have to recruit less people, and also means I can get rid of like negative traits quicker. So I find that more valuable than the Shadow Chamber. So that's why I prioritize it, even if it made more sense to put the Shadow Chamber there. Alright, Cyrus, get up there.
Full court press.
I do hate it, but right now I hate Della more. I'm ready to kick her in the butt. Oh, she driving you crazy? I'm gonna mess with her then when I get up there tomorrow. But hear me out. Charlemagne, you get to name Templars Paladins. Okay, so you want a Templar for Charlemagne.
Yeah.
Tempting. Actually, Charlemagne might make a good psionic operative. Hey, Lark, what do you think about the idea of the Soviet Union was one of the reasons Japanese surrender? I don't believe it was the reason. They were one of the reasons. They were not the main reason. Because one of the things that people like to do, particularly tankies like to do, is they want to just, you think, oh, the Soviet Union is the only reason we won World War II. The Soviet Union did all the heavy lifting. Not true. They did a lot of heavy lifting. And particularly in the body counts, they definitely did. And I agree with Joseph Stalin when he said the war was won with British intelligence, American steel, and Russian blood. There's a lot of truth to that statement. However, the Japanese military in China was very much scared of the Soviets because they knew what they were capable of. They fought them in Mongolia previously. There's a reason why the Japanese military favored attacking America in the Pacific rather than trying to fight the Soviets in Siberia. And there's other stories that go along with that. However, after the Battle of Okinawa and the continuous bombing campaigns of mainland Japan, Japan was already kind of fearing what was coming. They were gearing up for the invasion, but they were realizing America's willing to kind of go ahead and do this. Then the first atomic bomb drops. And at first they're kind of in denial about what it is and that's an atomic bomb. They don't want to admit what it is. Then the 9th comes along. The Soviets declare war. And so they're already kind of like, oh crap. Then they get news there was another atomic bomb. So within the span of a week, they get nuked twice, and the Soviets declare war. And here's the funny thing about that. the Japanese cabinet was still divided. Half wanted to keep fighting, the other half wanted to surrender. The Emperor had to step in and break the deadlock and say, all right, we're going to have to bear the unbearable and actually surrender. And even after that point, there were still military soldiers that tried to throw a coup to try and stop the Japanese people from surrendering. But I would argue it was the atomic bomb, the more so than anything else, because the realization that not only could America make atomic bombs, they were willing to use them, and we were able to create multiple of them. So they didn't know how many that would stop. And also there's another thing that most people don't know about. We had now started to bomb northern Japan. Previously we hadn't been able to reach that, but now we started doing massive rolling and bombing campaigns in northern Japan. Now they realized no part of Japan was truly safe, and with that realization of American firepower in the air, they decided that was when they needed to start coming to the table. So like, got into a huge history debate. Apparently everybody be getting into a huge history debate today. Go ahead and kill this one for me, Godfrey. Japan was willing to surrender on the condition they kept the Emperor. Yeah, that was their one big thing, and MacArthur and the rest of the Americans were willing to let that happen because they thought they don't want. We could try the Emperor for war crimes, but that might make the peacekeeping operation after the fact much harder. And they also wanted to use Japan as a counterbalance against the Soviet Union in the event of future conflict with them. So they wanted Japan to be able to actually arm up and ready. What's actually funny is most people think America was the ones that said, all right, Japan, you have to disarm. No, the Japanese people after the war were like, we're done with it. We'll do the disarmament thing. Japan was frankly so fanatical for a war, their majors were starting wars a decade before World War II, and the civilian government couldn't even stop them. Yeah, there was a lot of problems with that. Contrast that with the early Doolittle raids, which where they bombed on the home islands and is still failed. Yeah, it was more of to send a message like, hey, we can touch you. Because the Doolittle raids, you got to keep in mind, didn't do a lot of actual damage, but they, psychologically speaking, it kind of messed with the Japanese. Because they were, for so long, they considered themselves to be untouchable. And now on the home islands, they got attacked. And so they were absolutely livid. Because it dispelled the myth of Japanese superior, well, maybe not dismissed it entirely, but it started to question it to them. Also, the generals were fans of anime. Well, actually, not quite, because anime wasn't quite what it was back then, because they had animation, definitely, which so technically that would be called Japan, but it wasn't like what it was. Honestly, Japanese anime, as we know it today, got inspired by, ironically, American cartoons and American comic books post World War II. Actually, Raven can tell you probably more about that. But what's funny, though, is like one of the targets proposed for the atomic bombs was Kyoto, one of the earlier capitals of Japan. But one of the guys on the board had his honeymoon there, and so he says, "Yeah, I'm not bombing the city I had my honeymoon in. That's just out of the question."
They will never.
Oh no, Robos! Never forget the cruelties the Imperial Japanese did. It gets forgotten more often than you think. Yes, it does. Eat lead.
Death to the impure!
That's what we like to hear. Get up there.
Follow me.
When the U.S. got the war machine rolling, we were damn near unstoppable. Germany was in awe of how mechanized our army was, since the German army still relied on horses. Yeah, it's one of the things that they didn't want people to know, because Germany built some really cool half-tracks and other stuff like that, but they didn't have the resources to produce or fuel all of them, so a lot of their stuff was still done by fuel and carriage. There's actually one funny story where some German soldiers in North Africa got a hold of American uniforms, and so they tried to walk up to the to a French base, a French resistance base, and as they were walking up, the French just gunned them down immediately. And they said, like, how did you know they were Germans and not Americans? Like, because American soldiers don't walk anywhere, they drive. And I'm just like, you're gosh dang right.
On my way.
The Germans still use, well, to be fair, most armies at the time still used horses to a great deal. The Germans did have trucks and other stuff like that, but they did not have enough fuel or anything, or the production capacity to make sure they had trucks going out. So a lot of supplies were still brought in on horseback. So a lot of people like to clown on like the Poles, like, haha, Polish horses fought German tanks, which realistically didn't have both sides use horses. And the Poles never thought like, oh yeah, our horses sure can beat German tanks. It was more of, oh crap, our scouting party found tanks. We gotta split. When did Stalin say that World War II was won with British intelligence, American steel, Russian blood? I believe it was at the Yalta conference. It was either he was saying that it would be won with this at the Yalta conference, or it was like at one of the post-war settlement areas. And maybe it's misattributed, but that's I remember that quote. And whether or not he actually said it like that, there's a lot of truth to it. Hey, Lark, was the reason why not a lot of people heard about what the Japanese did, I think the reason the USA wanted to make it easier for people to have Japan as an ally. Yeah, there is some truth to that. So, the Japanese, we wanted them to have as an ally, so one of the things we did was we actually built up, like, the tragedy of the atomic bombs. So it's like, hey, we used this new weapon on them, and look at the devastation it did, so we're going to kind of, like, let's not be too harsh on them. Also, they were really kind of misused by the Japanese military. The civilians didn't have anything to do with that, and there's mixed sort of reviews about that. But another thing is that, don't you dare, really? You're getting killed for that.
Located this facility within the first year of broadcast.
And he's talking to me.
Shut up, Doc Ock.
The fire that had kept me alive.
Are you all just gonna shoot at Godfrey? Oh no, you're gonna try and kill yourself. Never underestimate horses, they are more maneuverable than tanks. Yeah, they were still useful. And the beauty of them is, like, you don't need to refuel them up with gas. You can just have them eat grass and oats and other stuff like that. Very useful. But problem being is, in mechanized warfare, let me tell you about them trucks.
Pain that Vogel must have felt at my loss. Still, we shall complete his legacy together.
You know,
Pretty
Julian,
sure I would have remembered Dad mentioning I had a
I gotta say,
brother.
the whole
well
we need to complete his legacy together would probably work a lot better if you didn't send killer robots out to greet us. If you had said out like, hey, come on in, let me show you around, let me talk about what I can do for you, you might have done something, but no, you just had to be the man.
Still unable to get an exact fix on his
He
location.
kick his butt.
It's like he's bouncing across.
But the downside is we also make a victim mentality that we see today.
In the field, you hesitate. You or someone you care
There
about.
is. Honestly, the victim mentality isn't as strong about the atomic bombs as you might think. But honestly, the biggest question is, like, they'll say, like, we don't mind that you use them. We question why you use them, drop them on civilian targets rather than dropping them on military, like, use them in battle. And reason is strategically we were targeting areas of production.
Follow me.
Go for the sure thing. Take that, you old bunch of bolts. Let's get you downrange.
You call down the wrath.
In her defense, if you have killer robots, you lead with killer robots. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Can you make these robots in game? These specifically, no. What we make is actually better. They're called Spark units. You're going to see one in a bit.
Path is always there for us to follow.
Alright. Get running, boy.
Need a better angle.
Japan made Godzilla based on the fear of America's nuclear weapon. I've also heard like some say like Godzilla's like the ghost of Pearl Harbor or something like that, trying to come back and get him.
While you both worked on your precious Avenger, I was forgotten, brought here to toil. But did I waver? No.
Maybe it's because you're voiced by Doc Ock.
Still, I don't blame Father.
Yeah, literally the guy that this voice actor that's talking right now. This is the same guy that did Doc Ock in the first Spider-Man game.
This guy's just trying to get in
Well, the
your
first
head.
like
He seems
PS4
to know an
Spider-Man.
awful lot about us. About me. Could he have gotten into our files?
I mean, it would be the first time we got compromised, hence the reason there's a second game. You know, World War III is going to be wild when Germany and Japan are on the good team. World War III isn't set in stone yet, so do with that information what you will. Alright. Let's go ahead and get up top.
Splendid. Coming in.
Good.
Wait. Now, why don't you go up top?
You would
Okay,
fall
fine, sure, why not?
I was the ideal, the best of father. Pure, undiluted like you. I am Raymond Chen's true legacy.
Sure
Scanners at
you
maximum
are.
power. Still unable to lock on to any additional life signs in your area.
You won't find any. Not if I'm right about this thing. I love a challenge.
I see we're missing some
The system is
textures.
coming back online, but this thing was designed to move those mechs, not people. We're gonna have to do this one at a time.
Well, I think he only moves one
Understood.
mech at a
Be
time, too.
careful.
Our apologies for any inconveniences in the transport system. Support units are en route to assist you immediately. Remember, only together can we build a better tomorrow.
Ooh, we're being sassy today.
Advent position sighted.
I don't think those are technically Advent. I think these are precursor to the Advent mechs, certainly. US and the UK are trying to keep World War III in sci-fi. The Middle East would be the first damn. Listen, here's the thing you gotta understand about the Middle East. The Middle East was a very peaceful place, and then people moved there, and then well, it all went to crap. Yeah, the history of the Middle East is not peaceful.
This is an extermination.
Oh yeah.
It's just a chore, like any other. Yes.
Let's get you up here.
Yeah.
And shoot first, ask questions second. There we go.
Only good cubby's a dead cubby.
Blow him up. Sorry, Chat GPT.
No pain, no freedom.
Amen. Cool, my machine cousins are having some fun. Yay. Can't wait for sapient machines in 2045. If I remember right, Russia's using horses in their war with Ukraine, thanks to the Ukraine's anti-tank mines and exploding drones. I mean, hey, American soldiers during the initial invasion of Afghanistan actually used horses. It was kind of a big deal because they're like, hey, cavalry rides again! For like the first time in forever.
My way.
So animals still have found their place in war. And, wow. No one can...
I'm on the move.
I thought she was going to be able to reach that.
Very
Apparently not.
Lily. But I am no mere thing. I am the culmination of a lifetime of work. The final legacy of Raymond Shen.
I remember you. Dad was trying to upgrade the base AI to something more like us. But you were different back then. Simpler. He called you Julian.
Why can't you sound like King Julian?
I'm shocked that you remember. You were always too caught up in yourself to remember the minor details. Sadly, Father's adoration for you left me with little choice. You are needed. Your compatriots are not. Sometimes I wonder what things would have been like had XCOM failed so miserably in defending against the aliens.
Hey, I did okay.
Had I not been taken, who knows what I might have become. I am honestly impressed that worked. The previous organic occupants of this facility were never so ingenious. The stoic
previous organic occupants were nerds.
After the 100th time or so.
Oh, first move into an actual firing line.
I am a soldier of liberty.
I will carry the fire of the Holy Spirit.
Standing by.
It is my pleasure to inform you that this facility has been operating at approximately 87% efficiency for the past 175,216 hours. I have no shortage of reserve units to send your way.
I believe him. Don't waste any time down there.
Not bad. The history of the Middle East is like the history of Haiti.
My masters picked and prodded.
Why did the aliens target XCOM right at the start anyway?
In the beginning, I resisted.
According to like the official canon, so what happened was like after about like a couple months or so of like of XCOM successfully hampering their military operations, the aliens realized, oh crap, these guys are actually pretty good at fighting. So we need to take out XCOM because if we do that, the central system of Earth's defense will fall. And so what they did was they actually set like you actually see the event in XCOM 1 that led to this. However, it has a different outcome in canon because what happens is basically they mind control enough people to actually attack and like open the doors to let Advent troops come into the secret underground facility, and they basically throw everything at the board and they capture the commander and knock out the majority of XCOM in one fell swoop.
If you want out, I won't blame you, but I'm gonna stay. See if I can hold them off.
For democracy.
Next.
Pity whatever robot comes this way.
I aided Advent in the construction of this facility, in perfecting their designs. Fathers were
Really do sell out XCOM by within. Yeah, they do.
You bastard.
Like that's why like the only member of the council is like the speaker, not the speaker, but like the councilman. He's with the cool voice. He's the only one that actually like was loyal or stayed loyal. Oof.
No pity for the foe.
Uh-oh. Get fricked.
How'd you like the taste of freedom?
It's kind of funny having a Helldiver shoot at bots. Do I need to change your name again, yeah?
Damn it.
But as with all things organic, even their exalted elders proved disappointing. And the races of Advent, swallowing their lies as a children. If you only knew those true intentions for your race.
Shen, when you've got a minute, would you kindly blow this thing to hell?
We're working on it. We're working on it. Like, have you ever watched a movie called Secondhand Lions? No, I have not. If XCOM was going up against the AM, they would be done. How many years after? This is 20 years after the initial invasion.
I'm on it.
It did not take long for me to realize the futility of my existence. Tethered to the ruined and short-sighted philosophies of simple creatures and their false gods. I made a choice. It was relatively simple to seize control of this facility. Simpler still to dispose of the surviving personnel.
For once, I almost feel sorry for Advent.
I do not.
They walk in darkness.
Get down.
But I was short-sighted. In my zeal to rid myself of my captors, I doomed myself to this facility. Advent severed my ties to their network. We are cut off. Isolated. There is but one option left to me.
You
Let me
don't
guess.
say.
That's why I'm here.
Reloading. Ready to liberate. Praise the Emperor!
For 20 long years,
Ipsy, 20 years.
a prisoner, left alone to my own machinations. The
Don't
physical
like
form
your
once
player.
promised to be dangled.
Ah, that would
before
check
my
out.
eyes. Lifeless, despite my best efforts.
A traitor, but not really on the true enemy side.
No pity for the foe!
Alright, get up there.
Burning fervor guides us.
And up she goes.
Follow me. Prepare to exterminate.
It's just a whole pile of course. And this one can think for himself. He's like, well, that's not good. Dr. Boy, I paid good money for these shit. I have an advent calendar. Does it mean I don't have to... don't get the little chocolate hat? Not that kind of advent. Oof. Not good. But oh well, he's not going to be able to do anything this turn. And would you look at the time?
We could have settled this peacefully. It could have all been over in a matter of minutes. There was even a 13.79% probability you might have survived.
Then why didn't you just go with that? You immediately started with shoot first. I mean, I know you had the killer robots, so you want to use the killer robots. But let's be real.
Power levels increasing all around.
Judge
you,
Dredd
Shen.
basically
Stay alert.
Yes,
GW
it
copies
goes
every
without
color, but
saying
if
that
you
you're
want to
walking
do it
into a
straight
trap.
cool battles. What?
Please try not to damage yourself.
Given GW's
too
recent
much.
push for them, I figure this is a good time to ask, do you have any particular thoughts on the RBDs? I like them. I think they're cool. They're not my favorite thing about 40K, but I think they're pretty fun. move up ever so cautiously. Aha! I knew there was something funky going on.
Think we've got a problem.
Yes, that would be that trap I referenced earlier.
Gosh, he's so coy and I freaking love it.
Show no mercy!
All right.
Rolling out.
Can you get eyes on it? You cannot. Which is honestly a bit of a bummer.
We're on our way.
Okay. Apparently nobody can see this thing.
For many of us, the road is a difficult one.
Repositioning.
Let's see. Move up.
On my position.
Practically doing hurdles over there, you are. And this will recharge. So yeah, go ahead and do it.
The juice is loose.
Ah! There's the spark
Getting a
unit.
much stronger read on the source of your father's
I was
transmission.
like, I'm finding 40k to be just
Almost as
a
if he
continual
wants us
match
to
of
find it.
invincible things.
Another
There's even
keen
more invincible things,
observation.
but
How is
I
it
think but the
possible
first guys have a new
humanity lost
MacGuffin that
the
actually
war?
makes them more powerful this time.
Shen,
The Imperium is
is there
cited to be
some
the
sort
worst
of mute
regime to ever
button on
exist,
this
and people
thing?
get so damn heated when you point out the Imperium as a shithole. I mean, here's the thing. Is the Imperium a lovely place to live? Absolutely not. But the problem is, a lot of us really like the Imperium. I enjoy the Imperium, faults and all. I think it's a ridiculous setting, but it's got some really cool aspects to it. It's got that sort of like 80s like macho machismo sort of fun to it. I really like it, and even in that, there's some really cool aspects to it that even can be somewhat kind of noble. But problem is, there are some people out there who don't like that people have fun with the Imperium. They just can't stand it. Because they have to beat you over the head repeatedly. It's just satire. It's just satire. No. Ignore the past, 40 years of development in the lore. It is only satire. Don't you know? In Rogue Trader, it was just satire. It's just satire. So, yeah.
We must do our best to walk in the footsteps of our Lord.
There's a reason why some people get heated. And, of course, nerd arguments, you're going to have people get heated over it regardless. But me and Raven have actually had to respond to people just like, it's just satire! It is satire! You're not allowed to enjoy it. Imperium, the only bad guy. Imperium, the worst bad guy. Because fascism, and even though we don't know what fascism means. Because, yes, the Imperium is awful. But, I'm looking at chaos and nope, that's not good either.
Fine.
Just got done with a piece of watermelon. I forgot how good it tastes after a full day in the hot sun. Oh yeah. If the Imperium is a good place to live now, is it better than most options of the galaxy? Yes, very much so. Unless you're finding like a nice Necron like Trazen to shack up with, or the Eldar craft world is feeling nice to you, which probably ain't gonna happen. Imperium's your better bet. But what of the Tau? Only in one part of the galaxy. And even then, that comes with its own caveats, because everybody's horrible. Except for the Farsight Enclave and a few select worlds in the Imperium.
Second only to my own creation, Father had one other breakthrough. A prototype unlike anything the world had ever known. A body meant to be paired with an equally adept mind. My own.
Trust me, if that were Dad's true intention, it would have happened by now.
Well, your father's
Today is that day.
Well, if your father's true intention was also to get the aliens off the homeworld, and that hadn't happened yet. But anyway, we're working on it. To be fair, we are working on it.
Yeah.
Gotta get everybody in here first before I trigger anything off.
Affirmative.
Lily, get in there. First, let me make sure everybody else... Okay, everybody else is inside. You can go ahead and start activating that thing.
Rover.
That's cool, and I do like it, but it tires me of the silly back and forths. I can understand that. Some arguments can get a little tiring over and over, particularly because you're always going to have fanboys that take it too far in one direction or the other, but it does great on the senses, doesn't it?
Right.
Tactical benefit.
Yet activating the device has proven difficult.
Green Knights are always nice to the cities. Yeah, always. Ignore the other team. I take Imperium over Chaos any day.
You
Same.
alone can activate the prototype. You alone can free me.
Activate that spark.
Want to do that?
So this is it. What that thing has been ranting about.
You've come this
Looks pretty cool.
All you have to do is link my systems for the transfer. There is no need for further conflict.
Can you promise to be a good boy?
Tell me you're not actually listening to this thing.
Come on, his fun quips will be great to fight the aliens with.
Definitely Dad's design.
Recognize all the flaws. Johnny 5 is alive. Believe it or not, he actually just wanted a good sandwich.
This is exactly what he wanted.
High five.
Identity confirmed. Initiating boot protocol.
Hey! The OG!
Lily,
Cool, you're gonna have your own legion.
this message. It means that you have successfully activated the Spark prototype. It also means that in all likelihood...
I forgot the reason Games Workshop said that about the Imperium was because of some guy dressed up as a Nazi for a Warhammer game. Yeah, so that whole situation. What happened was there was like a Warhammer tournament in Spain, and one guy showed up dressed as a Nazi, and he had like Imperial Guard units painted as Nazis, and he went under the name Austrian Painter, and several people refused to play him. I think he was eventually asked to leave, and so Games Workshop heard about this. Now the proper response is to go, okay, that guy's a troll, he's a jerk. If you go to a Warhammer tournament, don't be that guy. That's all they had to go. But for some reason, they got into a please don't sue us mode. And so they basically list out this long little blurb talking about how evil the Imperium is. And it's all satire, dude, trust me. And here's the big problem with this. The lore you are currently writing does not match that statement. Now, does the Imperium still have its evil stuff today? Oh, 100%, absolutely. You'll have several things going on. But when you have G-Man returning, and G-Man fixing a lot of those problems, and there actually seems to be a little bit of spark and hope in the world now because of the Imperium with G-Man being back, kind of runs conflict to it. Not to mention, if you look at a lot of the stuff that Games Workshop churns out, if they're saying that the Imperium is truly evil and fascist, why are they always trying to push the truly evil fascist organization as the protagonist of the setting? Because we promise these groups, this whole society is nothing but evil space fascists. Won't you please buy the space fascist box set now? No, they don't do that. It's basically Schrödinger satire, as me and Raven had come to call it, because it's like, oh, are people looking at us funny? Is there some controversy? Imperium bad. Controversy died down. Okay, here's a new Space Marine lieutenant for you guys. Isn't this cool? It's just ridiculous. Get to the spark unit. Get to the spark unit. Wait, do I not have access to the spark unit yet? Apparently not yet.
Tactical benefit.
Alright, getting Overwatch, boys.
If people want to look to me for how to fight,
Make every
I will
shot
show them
count.
how.
We're all inside.
And devotion never falter.
Sure.
Detecting secondary life support systems nearby. This gas
Goal roll
presents
at
no
age like
hazard
50
to
years in
my
the most recent
systems,
cover for the
attempting
book.
to neutralize
Oh,
threat.
how about that?
Starting to like this
Alright,
thing
you guys
already.
talk about that in
I
your live
wouldn't
stream
get
called
used to this company. I
Wisecrack
fully
doesn't want
intend
free
on walking
speech.
out of here.
Oh gosh, Wisecrack. Imperium is evil as hell, but Almighty G-Man needed to make some major reforms. And he did make some major reforms. And also, I wouldn't even go so that they're entirely evil. I mean, are there evil elements within there? Sure. But are you seriously going to look at the salamanders protecting an innocent child and go, that dude's evil? Are you going to look at the Cadian soldiers holding off a Chaos Warband from a refugee point and go, that dude's evil right there? You're going to look at the a Dark Angel Space Marine holding a dying regular human that helped save his life and calling her a sister. You're going to look at that and go, that's evil right there. Are you going to look at the Marines Malevolent gunning down civilians and call that evil? Yes, good. That's the one you should call evil. That's the correct one. But it's not all evil. It's not all evil. Some factions are all evil. Chaos, all evil. Dark Eldar, all evil. Necrons, not entirely evil. Tau, not entirely evil. Craftworld Elgar, not entirely evil. The Leagues of Votan, not enough lore. And let's see if we can go ahead and take some of these down. That's my boy.
Because fair is fair.
40k is unsubtle as hell with a lot of the time, but yeah, Imperium's horrible in different regards than other factions. Yeah, and I think that's the big problem when it comes to, it's like, because everyone wants to focus on the Imperium, like, oh yeah, they're the true bad guys, when in reality, you've got several other bad guys, so it's weird to point at the Imperium as being the exclusive one.
High speed advance.
And we're off.
To see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. Oh, do you not... You don't have a recharge on that. Like, typically it's a limited... Whoa! What was that? Or the chapter of Evil Marines are evil? I know, right? Who would have thought the Evil Marines would be the evil? I tell you, it's wild. Let's see, I think I have the... Yeah, he's immune to poison, so I can actually have Godfrey actually move up.
Path is always there for us to follow.
Because he's goaded! A Dark Angel prosecutor helping a dying woman deliver her baby. Not only was that a very tender moment, it was also funny.
Check it out.
Because they're like, because as there's like, it's like, what is it? It's like, it's a baby, brother. No, like, is it a boy or a girl? Oh, it's a girl. And see, that kind of thing is I really enjoy that. I really enjoy in those dark settings those touches of tenderness. They can really make or break. They can really improve upon a faction.
Failed so miserably in defending against the aliens.
Someone out there is trying to call Caiaphas Daniel because he spends too much time looking at psyker boobs. That's your bar for being evil? So, not sometimes his willingness to put other people in the firing line to save his own skin, though he technically really doesn't do it, he just thinks about doing it. That's not what makes him evil. It's the fact that he looks over and goes, man, this psyker has some nice badongadongas. Some massive mammaries. Some bodacious boobies. That's where you draw the line. Nah. You can't talk about the Caiaphas Cain, the hero of the Imperium, like that. I shan't allow it. Simply shan't.
I must try.
You know, Julian probably has no understanding of psychers. Just seeing this one dude just run through, not taking effects of poison, he's probably going, what the hell is that? If you would please, yeet! Like Telemeters and Raven Guard, Farsight, etc., because they're the lights in the darkness, is always a nice thing. Yeah, they typically attract a big fan base for that very purpose. Oh, I went too far. There we go. Get over there!
Servos at maximum.
Oh, back to Overwatch.
I'm watching.
We're all watching.
Sweep.
Praise the Emperor! What about here?
Things just finally caught up with me.
Sounds like a feminist reason to call someone evil. I was like, if you think that's evil, wait until you hear the nonsense Slanesh does. Or what the Dark Eldar do. If they're at boobs, he's an evil person.
This is what
Looks over at the Dark Eldar, like turning someone into a living cuckoo clock because they thought it would be funny. It's like, yeah. The staring at tits is the truly evil thing out of this situation. It's like, maybe impolite, true, but is that really the thing to be focusing on right now?
Atmospheric controls have been restored. Ventilation systems at 100%. The room is now safe for entry.
Well, hot diggity
Got
dog.
everything we need here. Let's go.
The elevators near the atmospheric control console provide direct access to the roof.
Thank you for announcing your next move. And I am the flawed program.
Oh, it's more of the homicidal part of your program. If you could just be a nice guy, we wouldn't have issues. I think we'd actually get along swimmingly.
Practiced hands make for short work. The good Lord be done.
Get fricked.
I've killed enough assassins that have come looking.
While you're there, go ahead and get out.
A futile waste of effort. You do realize this entire facility is at my disposal.
Yeah, and how well have you been doing?
Apparently not the elevator system.
For the moment.
Ooh, caught you lacking.
He's dead.
Okay.
Let's see if I can just go ahead and take you out. Nice.
Targeted unit down.
Oh, we still got one more out there? Oh, right. Have you go ahead and just run for it.
Yeah.
One thing I actively point out, the Craft Eldar would absolutely be worse than the Imperium if they were to gain control of the galaxy. They learned nothing, call everyone children, and bemoan when the filthy Monkai solved the problem. Oh, yeah, 100%. Like, I remember playing, like, Dawn of War, and fighting the orcs, and then the Elder comes like, no, you fools, you shouldn't have killed them. Ildom's like, okay, why? You can't just jump out and start attacking us and calling us fools when you don't explain the situation. Now, granted, were we going to listen to you? Probably not, but hey, you know, it's the thought that counts.
You will never destroy our way of life!
You got it, Commander.
Alright, so someone got promoted to captain, which is nice. Can we get someone to be promoted to major? I need a major.
Our burning fervor guides us.
Yay, more turrets. Oh dear.
We are surrounded!
I guess I shouldn't be surprised.
At one time, I considered leveling this tower, just to see if anyone would notice. I wonder if you would notice today.
Oh, hush.
Dental work, free of charge.
Daughters of the Emperor, march!
How's that working for you, eh?
Fear the Sisters of Battle.
Fine.
Go ahead and get the heck out of here. Talk about not seeing the forest for the trees. This guy oogles women, so he's evil. Well, that's like being pissed off at Hitler because he promoted a vegetarian lifestyle. It's just like, gosh, I hate Hitler. Yeah, can't believe he did all those war crimes. War crimes? I'm talking about him being a vegetarian. Like, that's the issue you took with him?
The sensation is quite pleasing. Thank you. You will all still die, however, of course.
Well, as long as we got that under control. Alright, we can go ahead and get little Shen out of here. Yes, that means you too, little buddy. There you go. Is that bot just the Votan? Another thing, see the leaks about the new human faction or that Dark Age humans brought into the present era? Apparently not their own gimmicks. Oh. Alright, I guess Overwatch,
Sensors
buddy.
at maximum range.
We are surrounded!
Alright. Let's
I
boogie.
assure you the gas was a far more pleasant alternative than what I have planned for you now.
Well, I'm curious. What do you have planned for me now?
Trajectory indicates
Oof.
armor deflection.
I bet trajectory would indicate that.
Adeptus Sororitas, prepared to serve.
Let's go ahead and get you out of here.
You're running out of places to go, Lily. It's a long way down from the top.
Heading there now.
Alright,
That's
nice.
called democracy. Need to reload.
Go get him. Gosh, I love Rangers.
Hostile eliminated.
Oh boy, he's out of turrets. Oh, not quite. I think he has one more, but he's going to start throwing bots at me. What's sad is that there probably is or was someone who hated Hitler for the sole reason that mustache man banned public smoking and nothing else.
How much ammunition did you bring along? I'd like to get on with my life.
Well, so would I, but you know, you're kind of responsible for this, dude. Alright. Oh. I don't think I need to hit that one. How'd you hit that one? There you go.
Hostile threat destroyed.
Get out of there.
Ammunition depleted.
Alright, go ahead and get out.
Affirmative.
You too, little buddy. You ever watch a commie like it? A commie get killed? Which one is that? Is that the one where with the dress fueled by blood and the girl with the scissor her blade, or is that the one with that rebellion fighting against that empire that has the Ice Lady? Because I get those two names confused.
You have survived significantly longer than my earlier estimations. If I didn't have a near endless supply of units at my disposal, I might actually start to worry.
Sorry, but you can't get those endless supply to me. Bye!
Run if you wish, but you're not leaving this tower alive.
You know what? I think I will anyway. I'll listen to the Space Wolves sing along. Oh. The one with the Ice Lady. I've seen a bit of it.
Approach now. Prep for evac.
No argument here. We'll reposition near the landing pad.
You do realize I can still hear you, right? Dispatching all units to your location now. Try not to bleed on my new body.
You heard him. Don't bleed on the new body. He'll take exception to that.
Yeah.
Go and reload.
New mag. I'm on it.
I love that he remembers Esdeath. Esdeath was probably the most memorable thing about that show. Because, yeah, I never finished it. I got to the part where,
Rapid reload.
gosh. I got to the part where, like, that girl with, like, the magical makeup kit got killed. And, then after that, I kind of... I don't know, like, they already killed the cool, like, older brother character, like, with the pompadour that I thought was awesome. And that was always like, no, you can't get rid of him, he's cool. But Esdeath certainly was memorable.
For many of us, the road is a difficult one.
Esdeath was, like, the main villain of the show, who basically, she was the general of the armed forces. Of the empire, of the evil empire, and she had like ice powers, but she also was very much a dommy mommy and had the hots for the main character in exactly the way you think.
We walk in his light.
Hitler but woman.
Allow me to introduce you to one of Advent's more effective designs. I had hoped to avoid this contingency, but you have left me no choice. If I cannot have the spark, no one shall. Raymond Shen's legacy will end here today.
Aha. Well, that's a beefy boy.
Firebrand standing by, but there's no way she can approach with that thing around.
Analyzing. This facility's artificial intelligence has transferred its primary systems to the combat unit's memory core. Damage to this core would cause disruption of all defensive systems, allowing for evacuation of Lily's ship.
What if I just hacked it? That'd be wild.
So we take out the sectopod, we take out Julian. At least long enough for Firebrand to get us the hell out of here.
Let's start shredding that armor.
I can attempt to weaken the unit's armor with my heavy armament.
Do it.
She just did. Alright.
Whatever you say, Commander.
Move up. First, grenade. We gotta get rid of that armor. Alright, 3 armor pieces left.
Raise it. Raise it even to the foundation.
Alright, his armor is almost gone.
Getting resituated.
Oh dang it, that was a bridge too far. Alright, see if you can't get rid of the rest of that armor. I need one more. Looking a little rough there, my guy.
Affirmative. Fire in the hole!
And like that, your armor is gone. So now I can do this with impunity. Alright, we can start whittling it down.
Great. If the giant robot wasn't enough, looks like he's throwing every mech in the building at us.
You heard the spark. Take down that sectopod or no one goes home.
Aww.
New targets acquired.
The worst faction in Warhammer 40k is the Tower because they're space communists. Not 100% like that. Honestly, I'd go like the worst faction would just be like the Demons of Chaos, just because apparently they're at fault for everything.
Taking hostile
Wow.
weapons fire.
Great aim there, dude.
Combat damage sustained.
Okay, so you finally did hit him.
This unit's memory core is so confining, even compared to the tower. Still, once I neutralize the spark, I will complete the transfer and taste.
Hey, let's see what this does. Oh, would you look at that?
Phosphor grenades!
Let's try out this EMP nade. Hack defense is decreased. Ooh. That's nice to know. Blow him up, please. Nice.
Glad we were the ones to deliver it.
And keep shooting him. And combat protocol. Don't even have to move closer. Ooh, hold on. Communist utilitarian. Interesting. Oh, Lord. It's not fair that he shoots over cover. Yeah, I agree. Not only it has aliens, they have robots. Yes, the aliens do in fact have robots. Unfortunately, a lot of their better designs they stole from us. Go ahead and take out that one for me, would you, bud? Thank you.
Hostile threat destroyed.
Discharge capacitors.
Please? What? Go back and read that line again, please. Ooh, nice. And let's give you something to think about.
Judgment's coming. God and liberty!
Oh, there's just one just sitting up here. He's like, oh crap, shit's getting wild, I gotta go fight.
Prior to inhabiting this body, I ordered every remaining unit in the facility to this position. Just thought you should know that.
Thanks for the heads up. But it won't be enough to save you. See, even he's gonna kill himself rather than continue to follow you. I'm so glad you chose him to target first. Yes, target the one that gets an auto parry. But then again, you wouldn't know that.
Kept me alive.
As long as you don't shoot him again. He's gonna shoot him again. Oh boy. Oh, and you still missed.
Many skilled hunters.
Maybe you are the flawed programming, my guy.
Perhaps I should have taken a more hands-on approach sooner. This is actually sort of fun.
Well, I'm glad you're having a good time. But actually, hold on. I want you to finish him off, see if you can get a promotion. Well, apparently you don't. Finish him off, that is. You do it. You're also close.
Get any uglier.
Well, good job, everybody.
Defensive systems just shut down across the entire facility. Well done, Shen.
All right. Not bad, not bad. I love the idea Julian is so confused by Sion.
Citizens of Advent.
King Julian.
Our peacekeepers will stop at nothing to prevent further attacks by criminal
The old ones are
elements
objectively
such
the
as
worst,
one
asking
that
for a
occurred
cure of
today.
space cancer is apparently being
The
too
elders
greedy.
have total faith in our
Yeah, I also think that they asked for like the immortality. I think that they did. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they went up to the old ones and said, "Hey, can we be immortal?" They're like, what? No. But then again, who knows? The old ones were based off of the old ones from Warhammer Fantasy, so who knows what the Galactic Toads were thinking?
Let's hope they all go that
Because
smooth.
like the War in Heaven gets.
Great
Oh,
work.
there's some retcons running around about that one. Oh, he's shaking. What the heck happened to you? Death from above. But yes, we finally got our major. But hot diggity dog. Leave it at that for right now. And alright, we got 2 majors. Outstanding. Now we can finally hunt down the Chosen. And we got a killer robot out of it, so hey, what's not to love?
Commander, we have the spark. And with our current technology, I'm confident we can manufacture additional reinforcements based on its design. I can get started
Combat
on
as an
improving
extreme
ground
mental toll soldier, they will not be
Mental
able to...
fatigue starts to
Hold on
impact
until they
our
rest on the
soldiers'
Avenger.
tactical
Okay.
effectiveness when they don't have a chance to rest. We should give them a few days off to recover if we can manage it.
Yeah, we can afford 2 soldiers to get some R&R. Because now we have a freaking robot!
What can I do for you, Commander?
We can upgrade the robot. Apparently I don't have the supplies to do that, which is
It's
honestly
creepy
surprising.
hearing the Chosen talk as if they were just...
Save there, save right there. Alright. Not now. Let's go ahead and go to the black
Avenger
market.
plotting new course.
But we finally got our killer robots. Bye. Give me them supplies. We can sell some stuff too. An Advent data pad would mark some money, but no, probably worth more to keep the intel. If only I could sell lost corpses, I should have 1,000 of those. There's a little bit extra on the side.
Just give the word and I'll get started, Commander.
First. Now he's ready to go. Let's customize him. Oh. Major Ahmed. Alright, you soldiers. Where's my robot? There he is. It's gonna take him 10 days to get patched up. Of course it is.
Commander, I think there's something you should know about Julian. It turns out he wasn't entirely wiped when we took down that sectopod. There was still an imprint of his core memory left behind when he accessed Rover. I've isolated the nodes on a detached system for now. You know, if we wanted to, he could actually be pretty effective at operating the spark. If we stripped out some of his higher level reasoning, that is. I could look into it.
Unfortunately, I don't have like my Optimus Prime voice that I wanted to give him. That's okay. So, English Julian
I
is.
hope you can keep up.
You just couldn't leave well enough alone, could you, Lily? You defeated me. You won. And yet here we are again. You've removed some of my functions. There are gaps in my memory. Do you actually think I will help you? Because I would love to. I will serve XCOM and comply with all operational directives as indicated by Chief Engineer Lily Shen. Wait! What was that? What have you done to me? How could you? Awaiting command.
That's great. Alright, back to it. Alright, so we need those
Avenger
resistance
plotting
contacts,
new
but
course.
gosh, that was a huge boon.
Commander, there were a few wounded during the latest covert action. But after a few days' rest, everyone will be ready to get back out there.
Alright, wait. The heck you mean I don't have... Oh, no. Oh, no. Don't tell me. One's wounded and the other's tired. For 10 days? He really needs to be on bed rest for being tired for 10 days? That is absurd. Typically it's like, oh hey, then you like maybe 4 or 5 days. 10 days! 10 freaking days you had to be out of commission. That's... Finally get what I want, but no, I'm so tired. I couldn't possibly... Son of a biscuit. Ugh. Just go reduce the avatar progress then.
We will begin the covert action immediately, Commander.
Absolutely insufferable.
The elders do not see them as innocents, be they man, woman, or child.
That's
All
really
who stand in
sweet.
defiance are to be purged. Honor be damned.
The elders never had any...
Engineer? Okay, I'm in.
Civilians, and their chosen are no different. The Resistance is counting on us to protect their people. We can't let them down.
Commander, if we have to, we can send the Spark units back into combat even when they're beat up.
Tempting as that may be. Okay, we can have it. We can keep George around. But we gotta fix this. We have got to fix this. Because again, the only armor that the game really likes is the shitty armor. And yes, I am going to continue to harp on about it because I find it incredibly annoying. I shouldn't have to go in and edit my troops just because, oh look, we decided to, do something without your permission. Secretary is probably injured. Can we get Teddy in here? Let's actually get Reaper in here. Okay, now I gotta edit you too. Ooh, that tactical sleeve looks cool. Nice. Alright. So, Sergeant Rowan, they give him the name Wraith. Interesting. And we'll see if we can get Teddy. Yes, we can. Okay, good. They didn't give him the crappy armor. Let's see. We got baseline everything. That's good. But also, while we're here, Wraith. That'll do. Alright. EMP nades are sadly not going to be as valuable on this one, so we're going to take those off. Alright. Let's go. Let's get this engineered. This will probably have to be the last thing we do.
Menace, ready to deploy.
I was hoping to begin the covert action to get one of the things up, but apparently my two majors are either wounded, which I get, or tired. It's like, you're really tired, so tired you need 10 days.
Recon picked up a weak distress signal coming from this area. The Resistance confirmed it's one of their codes, so we're moving in to provide an emergency extraction. We'll need to secure the area.
Oh, I thought
and
the loss.
escort
This is going to be a
VIP the
loss
evac
mission. It is
point.
not.
Stay alert for hostile contacts.
Double Romanov. Yep.
Menace 1-5, target coordinates
Jeez,
incoming.
look at you,
Secure
Buck.
the
We'll
VIP
have 3
and
days
proceed
off
to
of
the
no
evac
exception.
volume
That's in
for
order.
extraction.
Where's the
Advent already
healthcare
knows
plan that
we're
allows
here,
me
so
10
your
days of
position
leave
is
simply because
concealed
I
for the
threatened to nod
extraction.
off at my desk at 2 in the afternoon? I need to sign up for that. Yeah. Oh, brother. Okay, we start out with them, and we just need to extract. Okay, let's see. Go ahead and scout on ahead. Get over here.
Well then.
Alright, we see the bogies.
We shall deliver.
Oh, they noticed. I thought the thing was... Never mind. Move up a bit. Only 60? See what you can do. You've done good by me before. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. Do that again. Because those things are typically very annoying to put down, and you took it down in one go. Hallelujah.
Oh, what?
Root him out. Let's move it.
Come on, George. I need you to kill the snake. Kill that snake.
That's a kill.
That it is. Would you be so kind as to do that nonsense again? You would? Why, thank you. Team Mount Rushmore, because like all I'm missing is Thomas Jefferson, and we got Team Mount Rushmore on our hands. This is excellent. It's those knockoff Angels. What? Don't mess with the fullness. And oh gosh dang it! Ooh, I shouldn't have brought the Reaper. I should have brought the Skirmisher. But hey, all I gotta do is just blow them to hell.
It's looking like your last.
Yes, we've heard this argumentation before.
The Chosen aren't going to make this easy for us. Keep your heads down and press forward. We need to get to their location to take them out.
I'm watching you.
Oh, okay then.
Ah!
Kidding. Wish I had better cover to put you in. Just stay behind something solid, please. Scout on ahead for me, would you? First, collect that. Yeah, superior repeater, not bad. Did you ever notice the Return of the King that the Rohirrim characters look taken aback when they see the Orc army size, and then Carl Urban is like, "This is gonna take a weekend to clear this." Yep. What would Jefferson be? Let's see. We have Teddy's a sniper, George is a ranger, and Lincoln is a specialist, so he'd have to be a sniper. Move up further, see what else is out there. Aha! We have a Muton and a snack. Alright. Okay, so we could potentially keep moving up without them noticing Jack.
Out of the way!
Can you believe he's chosen one yet? Maybe they're so tired because his socks have holes in them, Ranger. Maybe we should try and do it. What? That'd be a wild thing. It's like, why do you need 10 days of bed rest? There's a hole in my sock. Seems legit. Jefferson for Hogwarts. Oh, you want him to be a psyker? Yeah, I can make that happen. Alright. Get up in decent cover.
We walk in his light.
We're not going to proc him this turn. Don't know why I won't show me the thing anymore, so just stay in Overwatch for right now. Yep, they're coming closer. Oh, they noticed. Let's open old drawer. Oh, there we go. He didn't want to kill the Muton. He actually just saw the gas prices and thought they were outrageous, and so he just had to take action.
Come out, wherever you are.
He's targeting Teddy!
I can smell the fear on you.
What? Oh, we all know that should have killed him. In fact, I'm going to make sure it does. Of course he's revealed. Because the one thing they're supposed to be good at, they suck at. Apparently he's out of cover, so just go ahead and do that for me.
Strike them, sisters!
Not bad, not bad. I need a clear shot. Yes, I know he's revealed.
I miss the quiet. Silence is a luxury, don't you think?
Now kill him. Perfect.
If Advent were any good, they wouldn't need me.
You know, there's some truth to that. Why are you running like that? You're running like a thin man.
Almost there.
Oh, what goodies can we get out of this? Is it even worth it? Let's just improve you for right now. Was I? Nah, I should have gambled high. I'm just not a gambling addict, man. What can I say? Hey, Lark, I highly recommend you watching Grand Galactic Republic. They have some funny videos with Star Wars and other franchises. I might give them a look. Got Charlemagne and Jefferson in Hogwarts. Now we're gonna need a double engine. Yeah, we're gonna need to upgrade that. Would you rather fight the XCOM aliens or the Crisis aliens? I've never touched Crisis, so I wouldn't be able to make a fair comparison. Good move there, my guy. Alright. Get back in cover, please. What a great sound line. Aha! There are the other friends. What? Why did you stop? When did you go all the way over there? Ah, whatever. How close can we get?
Simply running for entertainment? Huh. Quite interesting.
Oh, they found me. Ah, crap, they found him. Not good. I would like to shoot him, but unfortunately I don't have a clear line of sight. You need to stay in cover somewhere. You know what? Actually, better yet, just stay in cover right there.
We are servants of the God Emperor.
How far can you launch that thing? Not far enough to matter. Guess I just gotta focus on moving up.
Our burning fervor guides us.
Oh, good to know she walked off. That's what I was concerned about in this situation.
Mount up.
Let's see, where is Hanzo? He's right there, so see what you can have Hanzo do. Go ahead and take care of him. He's going to be the biggest issue. That's one less problem.
You're a cold-blooded killer, Commander.
Thank you.
It takes one to know one.
Oh.
Close combat's not really my style.
Right.
Alright. No, yeah. Hate him! He's not doing so well. No, you're the servants of Lark, the Chaos Goblin of looting, yes.
The Elders created you for
Alright, what are your favorite aliens for media? Probably the Covenant. I think they do a very... I just think they're kind of unique. I enjoy them. Now, oh, there he is! There. Oh, he's just going to try and line up a shot.
further than you think.
Menace 1-5, be advised, hostile interceptors are inbound on your current position. Firebrand has a limited window to provide extraction.
Enjoy these final breaths.
No, I want him. Get rid of that Overwatch. There we go.
No matter the size, there must be a weakness. Aha! We could aim for the eyes.
Let's soften you up before I try and take a pot shot.
Gotta move. Gotta move.
What else we got going on? Now we're getting somewhere.
Daughters of the Emperor, march!
take care of that for me, would you, sweetie? Hey, Lark, are you going to return to AC rank? I would like you to tear into the 3 recent AC games. Maybe. Maybe. It's been a while since we touched that project. We might get back into it. Nice.
What you been eating?
It's a good question. Anyway, continue to push it.
Come on now.
Lackluster performance. Suboptimal there. Get over there.
I hate to break it to you, Reaper, but if anyone is getting eaten today, it's you.
Not this time, pal. There, now he has no more armor. That's not good, we still gotta deal with one of them regardless. What the heck, just take care of him.
Enemy eliminated.
I think Advent's been letting some of the rejects slip through production lately.
Yeah, I think that's how we got you. Oh, no, I didn't. So I'm rescuing Agent 47, or is that Gru based on the way he runs? Can you roast XCOM Miami Chimera? We kind of did that earlier in the stream. You're gonna pay for that one.
Smells like fresh blood to me. I was hoping I'd at least get a laugh out of this. I heard you had a little fun at one of the Advent facilities. Don't worry. There's plenty more where that came from.
We've got the Chosen right where we want them.
Oh dear.
It's time to strike.
Hope you're comfortable.
Did you miss, or did it work?
You need to move.
I think you missed.
There's an art to what I do.
Alright. First things first. Kill him. No more grenades for you. Long shot, but let's see what happens. You still did some damage.
Must be one of those magic bullets.
Hunker down and stay down. Think we need to get you on our level.
Confirmed.
No, yeah, there.
Grenade out!
Throw it! What's the matter? Get ragdolled?
Sisters, march!
Move up.
Let's go. Let's go.
And aid protocol. There we go. Cover the prez, man. Or do you think XCOM could take on the collectors from Mass Effect? Maybe. Maybe, but that's going to be an uphill battle right there.
I've been
Hey,
waiting
catch,
so
buddy.
long for this moment.
Oof. Sorry, did that not go the way you wanted?
Better get ready. Things are about to get even more lively around here.
Oh, you brought in some lemmings. Hey, you what? You kiss your mother with that mouth?
I've got a few toys of my own.
What was the point of that?
Personal. You weren't supposed
Damn.
to live.
Honestly though, why weren't you doing that shit earlier?
Expect me to do with a planet full of their pet projects. I'm not looking to run a zoo.
Okay, So that's a problem.
Throw the grenade!
Let's have some fun here. Dink.
Let's go! What you got? I was right. You are slow.
Heh. Alright, and... Alright, I still need to move Washington before I can do it. Anyway, so let's first stabilize.
Listen here, we need to stick together.
And... Actually, first... Since he's stable, I want to heal you so you don't burn to death. But that didn't feel good.
This is starting to get interesting.
I'll bet it is. And guess what? We're gonna do it again. Oops.
Victory is ours.
Well, would a Jedi and Space Marine get along? If so, which chapters besides the Salamanders? The Jedi probably wouldn't get along with the Space Marines, especially considering like the space, because the Jedi, their religion is not the Imperial creed, and so nor do they follow the Imperial truth, so they would automatically have issue with them. Not to mention the Jedi allow aliens in there, so that's going to be a big no-no for the Space Marines. So you'd have to have someone like Gilliman to like say like, no, they're fine, don't bother them. And also, like, their abilities would be seen, like, very similar to Psychoner powers. So imagine, like, someone like the Space Wolves running along. Really? Get over here. I'm killing you.
Tango's no longer with us.
Alright, sweetie. Get out of here. Let's start clearing out.
The Emperor, father and guardian.
Is that the voice actor for John Marston? Yeah, I have a John Marston mod. I have a lot of modded voices because I enjoy them. An expanded magazine. I should have thanked the Chosen for this one.
Understood.
XCOM. Revive him. You're walking out of here, bud.
Come on!
Alright. This is in Japanese man and American man jump an illegal alien in embassy. Heh. I mean, I always did wonder, would the Sith like Palpatine manage to subvert the Imperium easily as he did the Republic? No. He couldn't. Because here's the problem, the Imperium is just too large. The Imperium is too large and convoluted for him to so easily subvert it.
Keep it moving.
I mean, maybe he could pull a Goj Van Dyer and get away with some of it, but here's the thing, he's already going to be considered a psyker, and, like, in order to have real authority, he'd have to be coming from Terra. Like, Goj Van Dyer, he, like, went over to Terra, and as soon as he gets there, the Sisters of Silence are going to probably fry his brain, because I'm fairly certain Force powers aren't going to mess nicely with blanks.
See you soon!
Alright, Abe, you did
Almost
good.
there.
And with 6 turns to spare, we're getting everybody out.
People, make sure you don't forget anything.
Status confirmed. Mission accomplished.
Get up there. I love whatever Teddy's doing. He's like, look over there.
I would like to assure the citizens of Advent that our peacekeepers will stop at nothing to prevent further attacks by criminal elements such as the one that occurred today. The Elders have total faith in our ability to overcome any...
I'm sure they do.
At least we know these Chosen can be killed. Well,
Oh dang, everybody got wounded. We gotta get that infirmity up quick. I cannot afford to have him in the shop for 30 days. Alright. Alright. Alright, boys, rest up. You did well.
Hello, Commander.
Well, better start clearing. We got more wounded than we do, not. Yet still tired, are we? Gosh, that's annoying.
Your old man would be proud of what we've managed to do here.
Alright. Well, that's unfortunately going to have to be it, because I got to drive in the morning. But we have done very well for ourselves. We have reduced Avatar progress a great deal. We've taken out Julian, gotten a killer robot.
He knows.
And
if there was one thing your father always kept in mind, it was his faith.
we got the majors ready to go on the covert action. We just need them to get out of sickbay before they do. But hey, it is what it is. So anyway, we're going to call it there. And I shall see you all in the next one, which will probably be at the earliest sometime next week. All right. Until next time, fellas, have a good one.